You're very welcome today to our webinar on using technology to optimize maternity data and sharing across boundaries. I'm your host for this morning, and my name is Marlene Sinclair, and I'm a midwife, and I head up the Maternal, Fetal and Infant Research Centre at Ulster University. And I've also the privilege of being here this morning with a couple of hats on. The first one being the midwife, the second one then being the centre head for the Maternal, Fetal and Infant Research Centre, and the third one being the president and the founder of the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society. I'm also the editor of the RCM Midwives journal called Evidence-Based Midwifery, which is it's the journal, it's the official journal for the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society, and it's recently been incorporated into Midders. And for those of you who don't know, so that's very important just to say that at the beginning. So we've got today, it's such a lovely day. I'm so excited to have some time just to share with you just some of the work that we're doing in terms of promoting midwifery research and using data and sharing it across boundaries. There's an awful lot of work that goes on every day, and sometimes it's great to just stop for a second and celebrate some of it, and just celebrate the joy of being involved in midwifery research, maternity research, involved in and being the joy of being a midwife, the joy of working with midwives, the joy of researching alongside midwives, the joy of participating in the lives of mothers and babies, partners, grandparents. It's such a lovely place to be a midwife. It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful gift being a midwife. And I've always said that, and I've enjoyed my years of being a midwife. And as I grow towards retirement, sometimes I feel like I'm getting there rapidly. I still look back with great joy to the very first day that I set foot in maternity, and it was a joy never to be forgotten. And I still have my little red book. I still have all my deliveries. I even have a baby bottle, one of the old glass bottles, and that were used in the years of old smelly beak, So I mean, today there's a bit of nostalgia associated with it as you look back and you reflect, and then as you look forward to the future and you think about, we couldn't be a better time, we couldn't be at a better crossroads for midwifery, we couldn't be a better time in terms of accessing the internet, in terms of people actually genuinely caring about each other. There's more care and more love in the world now, I think, than there ever was before. Look at the crisis in India. Look at the love. Look at the outpouring of caring of humanity. And today is one of those days when we can draw attention to the need for more midwives. We can draw attention to the shortage. We can draw attention to the need for better conditions. We can draw attention to the infant and maternal mortality. There's so much that we can do today to encourage people to think much more carefully about mothers, babies, the roles of the midwives, the roles of the doulas, the roles of the physician's assistants. There's so many people today that we need to think about and that we need to remember, and there's so much data to share. So I'm hoping that, today, I'm hoping that you'll enjoy some of this. We're only going to be speaking for a little while, and there's a wee bit that I have to say to you at the start, and hopefully then we'll get through to the programme. So and if you have any questions or any you want to put or any comments, and you can just put them into the little box, in terms of the comments box, and we're going to try and get some answers and get some responses. Julie will keep me right. Julie McCulloch's there, she'll keep me right. And Patricia Gillen, hopefully, and Rachel Black, the team behind making today a success. So let's try and go through some of these slides and share some thoughts with you to go along the way. So as I said, such a fabulous day, following the data, investing in midwives. And it is about following the data, but it's also investing in midwives, and it's about telling the rest of the world, as I said, about how valuable midwives are. And if you invest in them, here's some of the outputs that you're going to get in terms of lives saved. And there's some pretty good slides that we've produced by the, which is for today, specifically for today, to provide hard data. I want to tell you a tiny little bit about the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society, because that is an important society. that we set up here in Northern Ireland. We set it up in 2007 with a fund from the R&D office, and it's set up specifically to actually enhance midwifery research. And our main objective is to provide quality support and guidance to doctoral and postdoctoral midwife and childbirth or related researchers, regionally, nationally, internationally. And it's very important that we make it very clear that in terms of the work that we do, we don't work in isolation. Together, everybody achieves more. That's what teamwork's all about. And when we started the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society, we started off, we had our logo, first logo was geese flying, because together everybody achieves more. And the whole idea of geese, everybody taking the lead, everybody working together, and what can be achieved. And that's why it's so important that we make sure that that people who are not midwives are welcome, and the research, if it's anything to do with maternity, anything to do with mothers and babies, we're very delighted to support them and to help them. And you can see here, this is our homepage. And what I want to draw your attention to in this homepage is not just the joy and the happiness of the birth, but along the top you can see we have a little tab for our Taiwanese midwives. So I'd just like to this morning, I know that you won't actually be there, but Yi Wei Lai in Fujian University is the head of midwifery there, and a delightful person. And in Jordan, our Jordan colleagues and Assistant Professor Reem Hatamla, and they is the head of midwifery there and doing fabulous work in Jordan University of Science and Technology. So hello to you and to all of your students, and if you're joining us, you're very, very welcome. And just to anybody else who's there, if there are any other country, any other folks there who want to perhaps contact us about setting up a little society, a little group, and you can share information for your own country, for your own midwives, please see that as an output that could happen from today. And you can contact me and contact Gillian McCulloch, and we'll see what we can do. But it is lovely, and it's lovely to know that they're there today. And they're just a few of the many folks and friends in Australia and friends in China. So welcome to you all. You can connect with the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society. There's the information. We have a Facebook page, and we have a YouTube, and we will have all our videos and all our materials are up there, so you'll be able to access them and hopefully enjoy them. Do visit them. And as I mentioned to you, our evidence-based midwifery journal, that's our official journal for our Doctoral Midwifery Research Society. I do hope that you will submit your paperwork to us. We might go through Midders we're now linked with Midders, which is just wonderful. And we also were inducted into the Nursing Journal Hall of Fame 2020. Sorry, that's my husband saying goodbye to me. He's away to the golf. Did you hear him saying goodbye to me? He forgets that I'm talking to you, so please excuse him. But isn't it nice just to be normal? This is what happens when you live at home. And for all of us, I'm sure it's the same for all of you. We live at home and we just deal with what comes in and out the door. But anyway, just to let you know about that. And we just would like to just hope that everybody here, we just say thank you to everybody for joining us today. And we all want you to enjoy today. So going back to looking at the data, I think one of the most important messages which has come through here from that I think it's important that sorry, what happened there? I went to the wrong page. Sorry, my sincere apologies. One of there are an awful lot of key messages for today, and you will hear them as you go through the day. But one of the ones that I just wanted to share with you is this one. I won't read it to you, but I just want you to look at that very carefully. Read it for a second, because it's really a very important message for all of us today. There are many messages today, but that's a very important, it's a key one for me, and I genuinely believe it. And even to have data, we're talking today about following data, even to have data which actually, where you've been able to do the stats and to actually come out with statements like that with a level of confidence, that requires a considerable amount of work. It requires teamwork, it requires health economists, it requires statisticians, it requires global data. You can't come out with statements of that caliber without confidence, and materials can be published in the Lancet and unless people have got a lot of level of confidence in the quality and the integrity of the data. So in terms of what we're going to do today, this is just a brief, just a overview of what we're planning, and there'll be a little bit more to say as we go along. But there's so much going on, we couldn't share everything with you today. So we've just taken some aspects of the work that we're doing in the Maternal, Fetal and Infant Research Centre